Is there a leakage?
A leakage of what?
I have the seat full of water, like full of water.
Must be the water.
Let's add that to the weather filter.
Of course, it comes out just as the countdown stops. And this is staying in.
That couldn't have been planned any better than what just happened there. Wow. Hi, I'm Ris.
And I'm Doll.
We're just trying to queer up motorsports a little bit.
D-class queerness.
Yeah. Good God. So we're just two nerds that have decided, like, we have access to podcasting equipment, so we should probably, it's our birthright as white men. Wait a second. Well, here we are anyway. Should we talk about, like, for real, why we're doing this?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first or me?
I can go first, I guess.
All right.
So growing up, I lived in a little town just outside of Martinsville, Virginia, known as Ridgeway. And believe it or not, that is where the Martinsville Motor Speedway is located. And you really had no choice but to do NASCAR when NASCAR was in town, because nothing else was happening in that town. You couldn't go anywhere, cars were everywhere, people were everywhere, and you could literally hear the races anywhere in town. I used to joke that we didn't need to go to the race, we just turned it on the TV, opened the windows, and then threw some chicken bones at the TV. Because it's not a NASCAR race if you don't have chicken bones in front of you. Don't ask me, I don't understand. But it's a thing. And maybe it's not anymore. But as I got older and I was more not male and more not, a redneck, I started to associate racing and motorsports in general with that kind of toxic masculinity that defines the whole genre of NASCAR. And it became uncool, and I wouldn't associate with it. But I still love fast cars. And I still love machines that go rum, rum, rum. Like, machines are cool. Engineering's cool. Cars are cool. So, like, this year, my friend Ris here started getting into F1. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Next thing I know, it was their entire personality.
I don't know what you mean by that.
I hadn't seen you in months. I should walk in and you're covered head to toe in McLaren merch. Don't say it's not true.
It's true, 100% true.
I'm like, maybe I should check this out. And I'm like, all right, I actually really like racing. So, I want to make it a place that's more comfortable for me to exist. So, here we are.
Yeah, that's really close to the same origin story as me, except I grew up in Indianapolis. So every year, May would come around and you'd skip church, or whatever, because you're doing Indy 500 related things. I, again, wasn't one of the good old boys. I'm not from Indianapolis. My family hasn't lived on their ancestral farmland for 19 generations. So I was always ostracized anyway. And then I as I got older, I kind of noticed that the crowd that was really just mean was the same crowd that was going to the races and was really representing the sport. And I kind of fell out of love with it. like, Danica Patrick used to be my sporting idol. I know, sick, right? And that says all, that says all about it that you need to know, is that when I recognize that it's the Danicas of the world that were super into IndyCar, that's when I wanted to have nothing to do with the entire state of Indiana. In fact, vowed I would never return, and probably won't until I can pay for a private box at the 500. I like to also hope that the fan base has evolved over the years, and that what I remember as a traumatized child is just that, the memories of a traumatized child.
Yeah.
So I'm excited now as a 30-something to get back into it and find a way to make myself feel included. And that has, you know what? It's happened through Formula One. You're right. It's my entire personality. I'm, for the first time in like a week, not wearing some sort of merch. But I don't know what it is about Formula One necessarily that got me into it. I feel like it was Lewis Hamilton, kind of, because I was like, okay, so we're not all homogenous people here. That's kind of nice. And then, the way that Lando talks about himself as an athlete and as a person, I really latched onto that as well. So I know that there's a place for people of color. I know that there's a place for people who struggle with mental health. And Lewis did some really strong advocacy for the queer community several years ago as well. So I know that there's a place for me in Formula One. And so I've just kind of really latched onto that one, because you're right, machines are freaking cool.
Right.
And as much as I love just pure racing, like the IndyCar, the NASCAR, the here's your chassis, go do with it. As much as I love that, Formula One's emphasis on you gotta build it, bud. You gotta figure it out. And the way that people can game the system until Christian Horner complains about it. Whatever. The tire water, I love that aspect of it. So here I am, newly into Formula One, newly back into other aspects of racing as well. Evie!
Yes. And this is Evie.
Hi, Fen just came over and bothered me, but she went to go sit in her window.
Evie does not like cars. She says they're noisy and they smell funny.
Yeah, Fen's not a fan either. She always wants to go outside, and then a car will down the road, and she just runs back in the house.
Evie likes to observe the outside from a safe window.
Yeah. No, Fen thinks she wants to go outside, but she doesn't know that she'll die immediately.
Evie was a street cat, so...
Oh yeah, she's living it up now. Screw that.
I have it too good to go back on the streets.
Right, her.
Can I have my computer back, baby? Right here. Right here. Come on. Keep going. She's not going to go. She's going to stick her butt right in the camera.
Oh, Evie, you precious, precious thing. So, I have on our things to talk about list the NASCAR Hall of Fame. I don't know if we have a good segue into that, but I feel like we came out with some really interesting stories from it.
We really did.
So we should, what are our takeaways from that? Before we get into, we're going to talk about the Miami Grand Prix for Formula One. Before we get into that, what should we say about the NASCAR Hall of Fame?
Well, we started out as almost a joke. We were driving back from Atlanta, where we were at a nerd convention that we both go to every year, and we were upset that we're not driving to Miami.
I know, because Atlanta is about halfway between where you live and the Miami Grand Prix, so It just made so much sense to go south from Atlanta.
Yeah, it's about a third of the way down. Like it's like 11 hours from Maryland to Atlanta, and then 16 down to Miami.
Yeah, and then we were like, we looked at our bank accounts, we looked at the prices, we were like, this is not feasible.
Go to Miami and nothing else.
And nothing else. We might be able to get a chicken wing from Hooters or something, but
a chicken wings. Formula One's too classy though for chicken bones.
Oh yeah. Oh, sometimes.
You said Haas has their headquarters in Charlotte. We can just drive right by or out. I think they're in Huntersville.
They're in Kannapolis.
Oh, Kannapolis. Yeah.
And so I was like, I think they have a little museum there. And I Googled the museum and it says permanently closed. Well, I'm like, well, shit. I guess there goes that. Should we drive by anyway?
And take a picture of the sign.
Yeah. But then Doll comes in with this genius idea. Hey, I think the NASCAR Hall of Fame is in Charlotte. Do you want to, is that dumb? Like, yes, it's dumb, but I'm already typing it into the GPS. Like, we're already going.
We're already on the way.
Don't worry about it. I'll wake you up when we get there. Evie, you precious baby. I love her so much. Yeah. So dignified. So yeah, NASCAR, I think it cost us, what, $50 for both of our tickets?
Yeah, for both tickets and the racing pass. Yeah,
that's affordable. That F1 would never.
No. That's how much water cost.
Yeah, that was not even a bubble water. That's just water from a
bottle of water.
Bottle water. Because they're all British biased.
Yeah.
Bottle water. So we get there. The person who is at the register was so cool. She might have, I'm not gonna throw her under the bus or not, she might have thrown us a couple extras onto our pass. So that was really cool. I think I don't know. She was just cool as hell. She just wanted to give stuff away that day.
She was also just happy not to see another white man or school kid.
Yeah, because there was a field trip that had just let out as we were going in. Yeah, I would have been like, damn kids. Oh my God. And she probably looked at us and thought, these people are responsible. These people are here to learn. They're definitely not going to break anything. And yeah, so she was cool. But man, it was actually at this point, for the same reason I gave up on Indy, I never got into NASCAR because I felt even less secure. Because I've always been like, even when I was like 10, like my friends' parents would tell them they can't play with me anymore because they think I'm a lesbian. So like when I'm 10, you know?
Happened to you too.
Like, what?
That literally happened to me too. I think I just
11. Went to school one day and didn't have friends anymore.
I was like, my best friend's dad was like, no, they can't come over anymore. I'm like, why?
Yeah, it took months for one of the friends to be like, well, because my mom thinks you're gay. Yeah. Cool.
Right.
Got it.
You didn't say those things in the 80s, but it was just, we don't like people like you.
Yeah.
Like,
well, they were more open about it. But these were the people that were into NASCAR. So, you know, I was like, well, if I'm not allowed to hang out with you when I'm at school, I'm definitely not going to, like, talk to you about events or share interests with you. I'm going to push NASCAR fully away from me. And that's a bias that I'm still working to overcome. So when you talked about NASCAR Hall of Fame, I was honestly kind of like, ugh, I don't know that I even want to go there. It sounds like I'm going to just be icked out and this is not going to be fun.
Not gonna lie, I was a little afraid it was just gonna be a bunch of rednecks patting themselves on the back. And this is gonna sound disingenuous when it happens, but at some point while we're talking about this, my accent's gonna shift. And I think it just did. A little bit.
It did a bit, yeah. Shift. You got a little bit on the shift.
By the time we left there, it was bad.
I couldn't even understand you. I needed captions. It was bad.
But like that's how hard I worked to disassociate myself from that kind of culture that like I felt like I had to hide that aspect of my life, and it was kind of interesting just getting back in touch with it enough that I was really starting to sound like I was from Southern Virginia.
I feel like it lasted a couple days too.
It did.
Like it stuck around. But anyway, so we went, and I was pleasantly surprised with actually how open and accessible it was. Like there was, and I came in knowing I know nothing about NASCAR except that I had a crush on Jeff Gordon. And it wasn't because, like, the man. It was because of the car. I had a crush on his car because it was a rainbow. And, see, and that wasn't even the symbol of the gays back then, I don't think. I was a child, so I wouldn't have known anyway.
Not the general public.
But I loved his car, so that's all I knew about NASCAR. And I came out of that with a pretty decent understanding of the different series, like the different tracks, the processes that go into not just the race, but producing the race for TV and everything.
Oh, heck yeah. The whole thing was just very educational and interactive and inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super inclusive.
They had multiple accessible options for things. Like the very first exhibit is just, there's a track that goes up the wall that slowly gets higher until it's the steepest embankment, which is right 35 degrees,
yeah,
I think.
I think the steepest you can climb on was like 27, I think.
Yeah, and it went a little higher than that because I think the steepest embankments at Talladega is over 30. But you could stand at about 27 degrees. Like you could climb up on it, and they had handrails so you could stand there and not fall over, which we both immediately jumped up and then didn't
How do
think
we get down?
How do we get down? Like, I just hope that I can land on my feet.
Just tuck and roll.
But when you get down the stairs, there's an experience where if you can't stand or you're in a wheelchair, you can be transferred into a seat, which will then tilt you at the angle so you can experience the type of embankment that the tracks have, which is really cool.
Yeah, I loved that. And the sim racing experience as well has a wheelchair accessible, like NASCAR, that you can wheel in behind and you use your throttle and brake with hand paddles.
Like the sims are like full-size car models, and you sit in them, and like you can sit on left or right. Like they have two in each, so it's a little weird if you're on the wrong side.
Yeah.
Unless I guess you're European, and then
yeah. And then in which case, why are you watching NASCAR? You have your own races to watch.
It's just England.
No.
It's just England. It's the British. Right. But the accessible one is they basically hollowed out the car so you can wheel into it, and then the gear shifts are all on the paddles on the wheel. So you aren't using your feet for anything. Not gear shifts, but the accelerator and decelerator are there with the gear shift is what I meant to say.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And they had sensory areas, so for people that get overwhelmed, you could go in and just sit in a quiet area off by, like, over by the emergency exits and bathrooms and stuff. There was just a room with that was soundproof, and you could sit and be quiet.
You would need it if you're sensitive to sounds, because I will say that one level where it's the videos of like how the car gets put together, it's the videos of how we make what the wind tunnel actually shows us, and the worst sound, I love the sound honestly, but I can see where it would grate on people, is that gun There is the most fun I've had in a long time is they teach you how to do a pit stop. And you go in as a team of 3, I think they recommend, but we were only 2 people. So we did just a team of 2. Before us, there was 2 teams of 2 guys.
Yeah, like early college, like
strapping young lads, basically.
Yes.
They look like they're on spring break.
And they were talking shit.
They look and they act like they're on spring break.
They really did.
I mean, they probably were. They're probably coming home from Florida or
Honestly,
something.
you're probably right. They were probably driving home from Florida. I'm like, let's go to the NASCAR museum.
Yeah. Anyway, they did real bad. They were talking a bit of trash to each other, and they both lost.
The one team did all right.
Yeah, what'd they get, 45 seconds or something?
Under a minute.
Yeah.
Which, if you've never done anything and you don't know what you're doing, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Listen to me, don't know what you're doing.
Well, we didn't know what we were doing, but we went in with a plan. So, our first attempt was, so this is lever to lift the car, refuel the car, change the tire, and then lever to lower the car back to the ground. We went in with a plan, just the 2 of us. We divided and conquered. Our first attempt was 22 seconds. Half of their time. And then we were like,
we could do better.
We could do better.
Because, like, part of when you release the car, you have to turn it. And I don't know, I did not translate the turn the right way because I was watching it and I'm like, oh, you turn it that way. But I was flipped in my head. And so I turned it the wrong way. And it didn't release. So we lost a good 3 or 4 seconds at least to me going, how do I turn this thing? So, like, then we get back and we smoked it. Like,
we destroyed it. 16 seconds the second time around.
Like 16 and a half. Like, I think it was 16:43 or something like that.
I think something like that, yeah.
So, I mean, almost 17, but
crushed it, though.
Still, that's getting very close to, like, actual pit crew times in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Which I think are like 12 seconds.
And that's just 2 of us who've never done it before except for one time.
Yeah.
So.
Granted, it was not a real car, but.
Listen.
Look.
I'm about to get my year-long pass so that I can just go there and just smoke everybody, like, competitive on this little sim. Like, let's go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I also had, like, 5 bolts instead of 1. Because, like, modern cars have the 1 bolt in the center of the hubcap.
No, this one. Yeah, so that was really cool. There was that, and then I think my favorite part of it, though, was calling the race. I recently have wanted to get into, like, shoutcasting or sports casting. And then there was the option to, like, they'll show you some race footage and they'll give you, like, a teleprompter script kind of thing. I had so much fun doing that. Holy crap. I felt so at home with a headset and a microphone. Like, put me in, coach. Like, I need to learn how to actually do this so that I can quit all my jobs and just call races from now on.
It took me too long to figure out what was going on.
But when it came to the producing part, like picking what shots to show, you were top notch. I thought, I didn't realize you were doing that. I thought it was it looked like a professional video.
Yeah, no, it was like 12 different videos that you had to pick from and like, or whatever. I don't remember how many cameras it was. It was a lot to take in and like what's going on. And like everybody that's complaining about F1 coverage recently, like it's a problem, but it's a lot.
Yeah, they don't know what these guys are dealing with.
But also there's not much reason to just not show the person who just won the race going over the finish line.
There's that. Yeah. And when it'll be like yellow flag and you're like, why? and you just never know, and it just says green flag. You're like, okay, well, I guess we missed some. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Great.
And that was on, I think it was at Texas Motor Speedway,
Yeah.
which is only a mile. Can you imagine, like, the Grand Prix is like, the road race is 5-6 miles, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot more cameras and a lot more angles, and everybody's all spread out. At least most NASCAR races, you have the pack, and then you have a couple people outside of it, but
Yeah.
you don't have a pack in F1 very often.
Yeah, that's real tough. But that was so much fun. And then on the way home,
Almost immediately.
we were starving. We were like, it's about time to go home. Let's eat when we get home. Let's get out of town and then we'll eat something. We'll DoorDash something to the house.
Yeah, we'll be home by 6, right?
Spoiler alert, we were home by 11 p.m. because I blew out a tire on the highway. After we had just learned how to absolutely crush a pit stop, my car doesn't have a spare. So we had to sit and wait for AAA.
On the side of 277.
But it was fun because we passed out water and cheese to the 7 other people that all hit the same thing in the road and all blew a tire with us. It was a party.
Most of who did not have a spare tire.
Yes.
And one of the people who did not have the key for his lock nuts.
He didn't have that, and he said his spare tire was flat.
So even if he could have gotten the tire off, he couldn't have used the spare.
Yep. Incredible. Like, you can't make this stuff up.
It was like the person that was driving like the 2000 Ford Taurus that actually had a spare tire.
Yeah, the thing that was like crushed. This vehicle pulled over to the side of the road. We were like, did they have a wreck? She was like, oh no, it's been like this. She had a spare, and she was the first one off the line.
That's in our brand new cars. The freaking Mercedes Benz was still there when we left.
Yep. Goodness. What fun. But anyway, that's what we did instead of going south to Miami, which is what we're supposed to be talking about. The Miami Grand Prix was this past Sunday.
Yes, it was. It was indeed.
We weren't there in person.
Nope. And that's probably the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, next time, Red Bull, you'll pick up our tab, right?
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes. We had a Red Bull on the side of the highway in Charlotte while we were changing our tire.
Yeah.
Except we weren't changing a tire.
No.
But it was great advertisement, I swear.
It was. It was really good. So, Oscar Piastri, the main man of the weekend, finished first in the Grand Prix, second, I think, in the sprint.
Yeah.
And then swap those. Lando, first place in the sprint, second in the Grand Prix. I think I read somewhere this was the first time that I think any team had done a 1-2 and got all of the points available on a sprint weekend. I don't know if that's true, but it could be.
I had read something about them having either tied or made a record, and I can't remember what it was. But McLaren's definitely been dominating the season, and
for sure.
The back-to-back wins are setting a record at some point, if it didn't this weekend.
Yeah. I think, what's Oscar up to? 4 this season so far?
Yeah.
3 this season?
Is it at least 3? I can't remember if this was
This was
3
at least the 3rd one.
Yeah. I think it was 3. He's been podium everything with Australia.
Yeah. Man, he took that as a personal attack.
Yeah. Dominating the entire race and then spinning out in the last lap.
Yes. But then still finishing in the points. He brought it back into the points. And I think he hasn't stopped from there. Like, right.
He got that tractor out of the grass and
stopped. That was one of the most inspiring things I think I've ever seen in the sport. Was everyone's on the radio like, oh, Piastri is out! Piastri is finished! And he's Nope. He's reversing out of the grass. Oh my God, incredible. And then he finishes the race in the points. Like, incredible. So he crushed it in Miami. Although, personally, I've looked at some data. I have it printed out. Wait, who said that? Was that Christian Horner that had it printed out? I don't know.
That
One of them.
sounds like him.
One of them had it printed out. But I saw some data. That says Lando was actually running a faster race pace. So it would be interesting to know what might have, woulda, coulda, shoulda happened if Max hadn't maxed.
Max hadn't maxed.
Yeah,
Like, to be fair, he did it to both of them.
he did.
And he's an equal opportunity McLaren blocker.
I feel like he was kinder to Oscar.
Yeah. I also think we're assigning a little too much
Yeah.
emotion to that. I don't think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think like a lot of people are saying that he was unfair with Lando. He fought too hard, but at the same time,
I think Max just sees what he wants and takes it.
yeah, I don't think that there's a too hard when you're Max Verstappen. You're gonna race people, and
If it means
especially
they get pushed off the track, then oops.
oops, in it.
No, I'll fight with the stewards later about it.
Yeah, and I think Oscar has that same mentality, which is interesting to see, like, because I think Max knows that as well. I think Max knows that Oscar is a win it or bin it kind of guy. If we take each other out,
Mm-hmm.
fine, neither of us win and I'm good. But Lando doesn't want his race ruined. So he's always pulling out, letting people by, whatever, because he'd rather finish outside of his goal, I think, than not
Lando's-
finish.
I know, like, this car is worth more than money.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, Oscar definitely has that. I'm here to win, and there's no, if that means that we both end up in the wall, then so be it. And Lando will not quite go there, and I think Max knows it, so he will push Lando further, knowing that he'll back down when, and he'll take Oscar all the way to the wall if he has to.
I think that's exactly it. Furthermore, Max and Lando have been racing together, are like, they're friends, it's not, it's like when you're fighting your friends, like, you're gonna give them a hard time. I don't know about his relationship with Oscar, but I know when I'm competitive against my friends, I'm probably harder on them than I am on other people.
I know
But-
they can take it.
Yeah, right.
They're not gonna hate me afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, they might,
Not-
but we'll
I
get
mean-
over it.
They'll act like it at least.
Yeah.
We'll still be friends.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Uh,
So
Even
I
if
think
they're-
that's
Yeah. I was gonna say, even if there is an incident.
an incident.
Incident.
Yeah, exactly. So that was really fun. I loved watching Lando, again, just like Oscar and Melbourne, coming back from, what did he end up at, 6th place?
Yeah, something
Got it
like
up
that.
into 2nd, and a few more laps more, he would have been fighting for 1st with Oscar.
Yeah.
But incredible performance out of both of them, I think.
All right. Let's talk about that sprint, though.
Tell me about that sprint. What comes to mind?
Well, first thing, freaking Kimmy.
I was rooting for him so hard.
So bad.
I wanted him so badly on the podium.
And then Max. Wasn't Max's fault, to be fair. That was on Red Bull.
Yeah. What the hell were they thinking?
I don't know.
On
It's
that-
like the
on that
second race in a
release.
row where they've released or failed to release or released.
They've had, let's see. So there was one race a couple races ago where their lights weren't turning green. And there was one where they just took, maybe this was the same one, where it just took like 6 seconds.
Yeah, I think all that was in
Like,
Jeddah.
wow. And then this one, they're just destroying cars on the way out. They gotta get their stuff together. I don't know what's going on over there.
Like, why did they release him when Kimmy was right there?
Right there, like that made me so mad, because I was thinking, you know, if Lando can't have pole, I mean, who cares? Oscar, if he can't have pole, he's my number 3 choice maybe. But Kimmy on pole, yes, yeah. If my boy can't have it, I want the baby to get it. Give it to the baby.
Give it to the baby. The youngest pole sitter ever.
Ever. So
Like,
cool.
Nobody can actually really beat that except by a few months, because there are no more 17-year-olds in F1.
Yeah.
So, can't get your license until you're 18 now. So, like, that's a record he can hold for a long time.
Yeah, good, because he had the track record for about 24 hours.
Yeah. Until Max came in to qualify.
Max.
Was it in Q1 or?
I don't remember which one it was, but he took that track record real quick. But he can revel in being the youngest pole sitter for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really wanted to see him on the podium, not able to drink the champagne. But
And then my boy Charles.
oh,
Poor
jeez.
Charles. Charles.
His worst enemy this season,
Water.
the water.
It must be the water.
It must be the water. It did give me a lot of hope, though, because my number 2 guy is Isak. And people gave him so much crap for crashing out on the parade lap in Melbourne. He gave himself a lot of crap for that. But man, was it nice to see that even the seasoned vets...
No. I destroyed the car.
No!
Oh, poor guy.
And then Charles, I am stupid.
I am stupid.
I am stupid.
But yeah, no, this time, like, what is up with Ferrari, actually? Because, like, they sent him out in pouring rain in intermediaries, and then...
Yeah. Yeah. And Lewis comes back, and he's like, I told you. Like, I told you this was the wrong choice.
Soft. I want soft. And then ends up on the podium. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe you should listen to Lewis a little more.
Maybe you should listen to Lewis a little bit more. Let's talk about Lewis, actually. He metaphorically crashed out.
Yeah. So, I think I sent you a TikTok where somebody was, like, walking by the Ferrari garage after that race. It's just 2 people screaming at each other.
Yeah, like, wow. Just... It's not good teamwork. That's all I'm going to say.
You want me to let him pass too?
Oh my God, that one. When he says, what did he say? Should we take a tea break while you're at it? And then, yeah, Carlos is 1.4 seconds behind. And his response is, do you want me to let him pass too? I wish we could talk to people like that.
Right? We just have to get that sir.
We got to get the sir. And probably all the appendages that go with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Unfortunate. Anyway, segue. Engine failures?
Yeah.
Since we're talking about Ferrari.
Yeah. What's up with the Ferrari
What is
engines?
up with that? Gabby and Ollie both DNF with engine failures.
I feel like it's happened in multiple races now. Or
I'm not sure.
I think somebody had an engine failure in Suzuka. Might have been Charles. I don't remember now. But yeah, like, what's up with Ferrari's engines?
What, just the whole, like, the team is falling apart, the engines are falling apart, the drivers are falling apart.
Well, to be fair, if my engine and the team were falling apart, I would too.
I'd probably fall apart. That's true. Before we get to some rumors let's talk about that Lego parade.
Oh my gosh. The best part of the race.
The best part of the whole weekend, I think.
Like, how parade laps are so dumb. They're just, and the bus just wave,
Yeah.
wave.
Yeah.
Lego's like, why don't we build 20 life-size Lego cars and let them race? I don't know if they intended them to do what they did,
They
but
must have.
you can't put 20 half-grown men,
Half-grown.
or as somebody said, 19 grown men and Kimmy.
Aw. Way bad.
You give them toys and they're gonna play with them.
It was, man, it's been giving me life this whole week so far to just look at all of their videos of these guys. Like, one of my favorite things in life is seeing adult people access their inner child and enjoy life. And these guys, like, they're cackling, they're giggling. I have never seen half-grown men as happy as I saw them driving at, 20 kph?
Yeah.
Like,
barely 10 miles an hour.
Barely. It was so wholesome.
Immediately tried to overtake each other and then wreck their cars.
I think my favorite were Esty and Ollie. So they were hanging around the back, and Esteban's like, we have to cut all the corners. Cut this corner. Ollie's like, got you. The marshals are not moving out of the way. Like,
they're just like, what's going on?
Amazing. It was so good. I'm still finding angles because everyone was filming their own thing. It's so good. I just loved watching them have fun before they destroyed each other.
Everybody except, was it the Sauber team that was just sort of doing the parade lap? Normal, like,
yeah. And then there was Carlos and George actively crashing into each other.
George crashes, they can't get out, and Kimmy just takes off running.
Like, well, George has lost his phone somewhere in the car. I also love that George was busy taking video and Kimmy's reached up in front and is like steering the car while George is doing the selfies.
Best drivers in the world.
I know. It really gives me, John and I used to do this. We would drive and he'd be like, hang on, I gotta send a text, and I would just reach over and steer.
Wow.
Yeah. We're real safe now. We were safe then. We're real safe now.
Was this the Teslas? At least, were they driving themselves? No?
No, this was a Kia Soul.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah. We all make fun choices in our youth. I was in my late 20s.
Youth-ish.
Youth. I'm still youth.
Me too.
Youth. Yeah. We're not going to get old. No, it won't happen.
Never.
So, let's talk about Jack Doohan. Oh.
Poor Jack.
Poor Jack.
I guess it's all but confirmed now. Like,
pretty much. I don't think he's had his fair shake in any way.
No.
I mean, the Alpine, Pierre is doing really good stuff with that vehicle. But he's been driving it for years. He's been driving for years. He knows the car. He knows the circuits. This is Jack's first time. I know we have high hopes and high expectations, but like, look at the other rookies. None of them, except for Kimi, are like really, really out driving their car, as they say. So to just replace him after 6 tries is kind of I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm also not convinced that Franco, while I do love him, I'm not convinced that he's God's gift to racing.
Yeah. But they already paid him all that money, so
Yeah.
I guess they're gonna do something with him.
Yeah.
So does Alpine have a Ferrari engine? Or are they
No. They have a Renault. They have their own.
Oh, that's right. They have their own.
But they're about to not, I think.
They're going to Mercedes next year.
Maybe.
I think I heard that.
I think I saw it. I might have sent you a TikTok about that.
I think you did. I'm like, I heard it somewhere.
Yeah, I think our sources are infallible, honestly.
Each other.
Each other and TikTok. Yeah. You can't lose. So yeah, I mean I'm excited to see Franco on the track if this does indeed happen, which whenever there's a leak, I think it's for sure happening. Because I think they do these leaks on purpose.
Oh, they totally do.
Yeah. So I feel like it's probably a done deal at this point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, there's so much drama and rumor amongst those 20 drivers at the moment that is unsubstantiated and is just people reading into crazy things. Like, did you see the papaya drama where they posted the McLaren, I think it was X account maybe, they posted their banner picture is a picture of Oscar just after his, they do the team picture after the win, right? Well, he's standing in front of Lando, so you can't see Lando in the picture. And people are losing their minds that, like, McLaren doesn't like Lando anymore. Oscar's the number one driver. All of these wild, unsubstantiated claims.
Oscar doesn't have very long arms, and you can only get 100 people in a picture, if you have longer arms.
Well, the thing that they're hanging on to is that he took multiple, and there are some where Lando is in it. Why did admin use that one? But I bet admin's busy, and they just
picked the one that looked the best and didn't realize that Lando was completely obscured.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So I waffle then between, are we actually replacing Jack? Or did the rabid Franco fans come up with something?
If it were just rumors, but now that places like BBC Sports and stuff have started covering it and basically saying that it's happening, it just hasn't been confirmed yet. It's coming from somebody, and it's probably coming from an unnamed PR person that's floating the idea
that
out.
That leaked it.
Yeah, whenever something leaked, it means that the PR person's like, psst, psst, come here. Can you talk about this, but you cannot say it's from me.
And it's so funny how they will let that leak linger until the very last minute. It'll be 2 minutes before practice 1. And people will be like, oh, Doohan's out? Where's Doohan? Breaking news from the world of F1. We've been knowing. You could have announced this. Put us all out of our misery. But I think they like the chatter.
Yeah. So. And they're trying to pressure somebody, or there's a sponsor that's not sold, or any number. There's a lot of behind the scenes dealings that go on, especially when there's that much money involved.
Yeah.
Because it is a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah. Don't we know it? We can't even afford to attend Miami.
No. We can't even afford the water.
Mm-mm. It's bad. It's bad news.
So, we need a sponsor.
Yeah. Speaking of water, Costco, if you would like to sponsor our...
This, not to be mentioned name brand of soda could be yours. We could cover up this not, obvious logo totally generic logo here could be yours for a cool $1 million.
Yeah, I could wear your t-shirt
Mm-hmm.
with your advertisers on it. I could tattoo on my forehead a logo.
Right. We just said it at the same time.
I will sell up to and including my soul for about $5 at this point.
If only I had a soul.
Yeah. Oh, did you sell yours a while ago?
I don't think I ever had one.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe it's just hiding.
The cat chased it out the room one day and it
Probably.
just hasn't come back.
Has it come back? Anyway,
what's up next? We've got Imola, right?
yes.
When is that?
Another week?
May 18th.
Yeah.
And I don't think are there other... Is this also a crazy weekend? When's the next Formula E? Because this was also a Formula E weekend and an Indy weekend. It was a crazy weekend of motorsports.
NASCAR was in Texas, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Just absolutely wild weekend. Tokyo. Where's Tokyo? When is Tokyo?
Where's
Where's
believe
Tokyo?
That would be Japan.
5/16. So, man, 2 weekends from now, it's gonna be Formula E and that other one, and some other ones probably.
Probably.
Because the human condition is to race things.
It is.
So
We like to go fast, and we weren't built for it, so.
we were not. I certainly wasn't. Anyway, I guess we should wrap it up. How do we... should we end on some tepid takes and then
I think
call it a
so.
day?
Yeah.
You got any tepid takes?
Maybe we should explain what tepid takes are.
Yeah.
Or should we not? And that's our tepid take. You can figure it out.
I think that here's my tepid take on tepid takes is that you'll be able to figure out the tepid takes because they're tepid takes.
So,
yeah.
Here's mine. My tepid, the most tepid of tepid takes. McLaren is winning all the races because they have the fastest car.
Which leads me to my most tepid of tepid takes, I think, is that Oscar Piastri, for the first time in a long time, there's an Australian in the lead in the Drivers' Championship. And I think, this is controversial, I think that is because he has the most points.
Huh. Yeah, that's a good, that's a very tepid take.
Very.
Did you have any other tepid takes?
Yeah, that this weekend in Miami was really wet.
Yeah.
Partially.
You know why?
No, why?
It's because of the water.
It's because of the water. And the same with Charles. Like,
yeah.
He crashed. Why? Because he's in a car. Cars crash sometimes.
And he hydroplaned because there was no friction between the surface of the water and his tires.
That's a ballsy take.
Yeah.
That one is science, and I don't know that I can get behind that one.
That might be less tepid and more nerdy.
It's really nerdy.
No, this is more of a actually.
Actually. Oh God! All right, Max. Anyway, I guess we should wrap it up and look forward to Imola.
Yeah.
Tell us your tepid takes, though.
Yeah, if you have any tepid takes.
If you've listened this far, let us know if you've listened this far. I'm gonna say that you've listened for a long time. And that is a tepid take that you can take to the bank.
Yep.
Can't do anything with it once it's there, but you can take it.
You can. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye. We didn't do an outro.
Must be the water. Do 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 do.